Okay, I really need to address some of the more annoying comments that I get and get this out of the way for the last goddamn time, hopefully. Alright guys, I get the whole Dragon Ball apologist thing. You love the show, you want to defend it. If something doesn't make sense, you try to fill it in with your own headcanons, that's fine. Trust me, I was a Dragon Ball apologist before some of you were even born. I understand wanting to defend this franchise and, try to make sense of the shit that doesn't make sense. But I think people need to take the time to understand that if something is bothersome to someone, like if they're watching a movie or a show or anything, and it just kind of breaks the suspension of disbelief, and there's just too many plot holes and it's just not fitting together right, don't just assume that the other person just can't think their way around it and make it make sense. Like you shouldn't have to do that. The show should make sense on its own. And whenever people try to feed me their headcanons on this, all it does is fucking annoy me, because I don't give a shit about headcanons, I give a shit about canonical answers. And if you want to make up headcanons to explain these things, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm past that point. I view the show for what it is, and whatever answers they give me, those are the answers. If they choose to not give me an answer, then they're just giving me the finger, and I have a right to be annoyed by this. Basically what I'm trying to say is, if you start a comment with, my headcanon for this is, or my theory, or the way I interpret it is, I have stopped reading your comment. I have stopped reading your comment, and if you came off extra snarky in that first opening sentence that I did read, I will just fucking outright block you, because I don't need to fucking hear that shit. Alright? Cool? Alright? If you enjoyed it, that's fine. I'm not telling you not to. You're perfectly entitled to enjoy whatever the hell you want. I just don't have to enjoy the same things you do. Cool? We good? Alright, review time. So here we are, the big climactic finish to this tournament. Goku and Hit are going head to head. They're clashing the Kaioken times 10 versus the increased Tokitobashi. They're just going all out. Goku's starting to get worn out, and Shampa's just like, wear him down, stay away from him. This Kaioken's gonna fuck him over eventually, just let it burn him out. And Cav was just like, well, Hit's too honorable of a fighter, he can't do anything like that. And Shampa's like, I don't give a shit what he wants. He needs to do what the fuck I say. This isn't about you motherfuckers. This is about me and Beers. This is a battle between gods. See what I did there? You motherfuckers do not matter whatsoever. You are just pawns in our goddamn game. Goku and Hit take personal offense to that statement about being called pawns, but they just kind of shrug it off. They continue their fight. Hit increases his Tokitobashi even further to the point where Goku just cannot keep up with him anymore. He's really wrecking Goku's shit. But Goku also identifies Hit's holding back. Hit's an assassin. He can't use any of his his most powerful techniques against me. Hey, Beers, can we get rid of this, no killing rule, so that way he can really go all out against me? And Beers is like, fuck no, I am not giving the edge to the other team. And Champa and Beers get into this argument back and forth, and the guys kind of realize, yeah, they really are just kind of treating us like pawns in their little game. We really just do not matter to them in this scenario. Fuck it, we should just kind of just fight on our own terms on another day. And Goku just jumps out of the fucking ring. Goku just, as a big middle finger to the two gods, jumps out of the ring, and it's just like, what? I mean, my Kaioken was gonna burn out any time. I mean, you guys were arguing so much, I was gonna lose anyhow. So, fuck it. Then we have Hit versus Monaka, and, Hit immediately identifies that Monaka is not powerful whatsoever, and just kind of as this little bit of a fuck you, I would say, to Champa. Monaka does this little piddly weak-ass punch to Hit's shin, and Hit just goes, "Ugh!" and flies out of the fucking ring. And then that's it. It's over, and Champa's losing his shit. He's like, how dare you fucking lose? And Hit's just like, whatever, I don't even want the fucking cube anymore, and you just send me the fuck home. And Beers is just like, oh, no, you're not going home. You motherfuckers are all dead. You failed me. Fuck all of you. And Goku's just like, hey, we can't let them do this. And Beers is just like, you stay the fuck out of this. This is the god's business. The tournament is over. The god of destruction can do whatever he wants with his team, even including killing them. Stay the fuck out of it. It isn't your place. And then after that, Zuno shows up. The god of goddamn everything. Beers and Champa look like they're about to fucking shit themselves. And the episode ends there. Oh man, okay, a lot of things happen in this episode, but I don't really have that much to talk about in terms of the specific events. First, let me just go ahead and get the parts that I really liked out of the way. I really love the idea of the double forfeit. The fact that Goku just quits the match and then Hit quits the match in his next round. I really dug that concept. It really felt like a big middle finger to the Gods of Destruction, how they were just kind of being like, fuck it, you're gonna treat us like pawns, we're just gonna fuck you guys over. And that's really the vibe I got from it. Whether or not that was actually what those characters are going for, that's the intent that I took away from it. And if that's the case, I think that's a great idea. The fact that they're just like, you know what? Yeah, fuck these guys. We don't need them. We don't need this shit. They can't talk to us like this. We're just gonna have our own fight later on with blackjack and hookers. It'll be great. So I love that concept. Also, it was a really unpredictable way to end this tournament because we've had so many goddamn spoilers for this arc. I really had it, pegged down as, okay, well, Goku's gonna leave the tournament, early, and then he's gonna come back because of some sort of bullshit shenanigans with the rules, and he's gonna face Hit in the final round, and then he's gonna fucking beat Hit, and it's gonna be epic and cool. And that's not what happened. I mean, it was epic and cool, but Goku lost. In fact, he forfeits, and that's something very different for Goku. Like, outside of, the Cell games. So I thought that was a really cool way to end this tournament, to end that fight between these two characters. Like I said, it was really surprising. It took the tournament in a completely different direction than I thought it was going to. It kind of ended on this weird kind of tone of, fuck the Gods of Destruction, which is cool because, fuck the Gods of Destruction. Speaking of fucking the Gods of Destruction, I really like the fact that they really kind of portrayed them like, no, like, these aren't good guys at all. Like, Beers may not be a complete fucking monster, but he still has no value for life whatsoever. He's still a pretty shitty bad guy. It's just, Goku and, Vegeta, they give him food, and that keeps their planet from being destroyed. Beers himself as a character, he's kind of a piece of shit. He's a fucking asshole, and he would just completely wipe out the entire Earth if it wasn't for the food, and if it wasn't for the fact that, Goku kind of impressed them with their fight. That's about it. That's the only thing that's ever kept their fucking planet alive. And I like that really kind of reinforced the idea of, like, no, like, these are bad guys. Like, they're not good people. They are complete pieces of shit. And it's not just like, oh, like, Shampa's the bad one. No, like, Beers is a piece of shit, too. It's just Beers wouldn't go and kill his fucking team, where Champa is perfectly fine killing his team, and Beers is completely fine with Champa killing his team. It's none of his fucking business. He doesn't give a flying fuck. And also tying into the Beers and Champa are total pieces of shit and assholes and all this other thing, who are just really smug and full of themselves, and they just know that they're this goddamn powerful, so, it doesn't fucking matter what they do or say. It is phenomenal when fucking Zuno shows up, and they just look like they're gonna shit their pants. Like, the fact that, like you see someone who's just that much more powerful than them, and they're just like, holy shit, it's Zuno, we have done fucked up. That was great. I loved that whole expression on their face. I love the fact that Zuno is like the small little dumpy one. It seems like a lot of people are really upset about that. I was like, it's Toriyama. What the hell are you expecting? Like, it's like, we should know by now that the least imposing character is going to be the most OP thing in the whole fucking galaxy, or the whole fucking multiverse. Like, of course. That's just how it always rolls with Toriyama, pretty much. And, like, I like the design of Zuno. I like the design of his two attendants. Very kind of neat, very, Toriyama-esque designs, but it's also something that we haven't seen before. Also, I'm surprised that we saw Zuno so soon, because, like, we just got the leak from, V-Jump about, like, oh, Zuno and, the god of everything, he's gonna be a future character, and then he just shows up at the end of this fucking tournament. It's like, ooh, I did not see that coming. Alright, I really thought this was gonna be, like, something we're gonna build up to in another arc. But no, he's there already. In fact, I really wished V-Jump hadn't just spoiled this, because, like, if I had known this was going to be, like, right around the corner, it would have been way better to just have Zuno show up and then go, Zuno! And just have us wonder for a goddamn week of, who the fuck is this guy? That would have been so much better for me, but whatever, I still liked what I got. And of course, we can't forget the best moment of this entire episode, Goku shaking the Galaxy King's dick, which is one of the best fucking scenes since Ninja Murasaki took the Nyoibo up his ass. It was fucking hilarious. He's just sitting there just like, oh yeah, that's my Winky. It's like, ah! That was great. It's super immature of me. I know, I don't care. It was fucking hilarious. I thought it was great. Fuck you, I'm a grown-up. I can laugh at whatever I want to. Now on to something that's not really good nor bad, just something that's a bit of a talking point that I wanted to bring up. The Kaioken does not work the way that it's been previously established to. Like, the way the Kaioken has been previously shown, it's a burst maneuver. Goku just kind of flares into it for a short moment. He gets a couple of good shots in, and his increased speed and strength is usually used to throw off an opponent. Like, with Vegeta, he completely throws Vegeta off. Even though he's still technically weaker than Vegeta, it's still enough to catch Vegeta off guard because Goku has a certain burst of speed and strength. Also allowed him to keep up with Frieza because Frieza was just so much more powerful than him. Here, it's treated more like kind of like a transformation, just, like almost like SS3, where like he transforms into it, gets this huge burst in power, and it's burning away his ki really quick so he can only hold it for a limited amount of time. Now, I'm not upset about this. I'm not, like, pissed off that they're like, oh, they're changing the way this move works, like, inconsistencies. I'm not bothered by that so much just because of the mere fact that he is combining it with this godly transformation, so giving the Kaioken a different property than what we're used to seeing isn't that far outside the realm of possibility to me. So if they wanted to depict it differently now, I'm fine. We haven't seen this move in so long, and, we've never seen it combined with a transformation, so it having a different property inherently does not bother me. Though, I do feel it would have been better as a burst technique, and I'm going to just hold on to that thought for a moment, because I'm going to come back to it in my negatives in just a little bit. And speaking of my negatives, first off, the animation. This show's been looking really goddamn good the last few episodes. I've been really impressed with the animation. I've been really satisfied. Like the worst looking episodes in recent memory have just been kind of, it's perfectly serviceable. This was just like, this is pretty subpar, guys. There was nothing visually impressive. The characters were constantly off model. It kind of reminded me of when Dragon Ball Z, like the way Dragon Ball Z looked when it was off model. I think when Iwasawa would draw the characters, he had a kind of that angular look, and the hair would be kind of big and spiky. And it just kind of looked a little sloppier. And that's kind of the same feel I got from this episode in terms of its style and the art direction that it took for this episode. And it was just didn't look good. That's all. It was the worst looking episode we've seen in quite a while. And the animation wasn't particularly impressive. There wasn't anything that interesting going on. The coolest looking scene is when Hit flares his arms around and then takes his fighting stance, and that's a really short scene. And that's the closest to the animation looking kind of cool, and even that wasn't that well animated. It was just kind of cool looking. Now for the more story-related negatives. First off, man, there's some kind of bullshit double standards here going on. Where oh no, it's a terrible taste if Hit were to let Goku's Kaioken burn him out. Yet it's totally cool, it's not dishonorable at all for Goku to let Frieza's golden form burn him out. What fucking hypocrisy is that? It's oh no, it's it'd be really shitty if you just let his fucking technique burn him out, even though Goku was just stupid Frieza, you let your technique burn you out. It's wow, Goku, way to be a fucking hypocrite, you asshole. That's all I could think the entire time they were having that exchange. I was just Goku did the exact same thing one arc ago, guys. Goddamn. You think even Goku would be no, it's okay, this is totally fair. I mean, I've done the same shit to people. Yeah, if he wants to take advantage of my weaknesses because I'm an idiot and I'm using a technique that's completely gonna fuck my body up, that's really my fault. But no, it's just no, guys, yeah, let him fight me at full power. Let him get the best out of me he can. That's totally legit. Well, fuck you, Goku, you scumbag. And my final issue, and this is the big one, and this doesn't just have to deal with this episode, but the last one as well. It's just the whole time skip versus Kaioken concept makes no goddamn sense. The way they are explaining it to the audience is not what they are showing, and this is really bothering the shit out of me because they keep saying, "Oh well, the Kaioken now is allowing Goku to go so fast he's able to keep up with the Tokitabashi." Oh wait, no, he's extended the Tokitabashi to where he's freezing time for even longer. It's well, wait, how the fuck does that work? Because the way they're explaining it is that, oh, well, Goku is so fast at it, he's able to, basically move around the Tokitabashi and, kind of, catch Hit off guard, I guess, and is fast enough to, block his hits and, counter and things like that. But what they're basically showing is Hit stopping time, and then Goku is literally moving through the frozen time. Goku is literally transcending the fourth dimension, and that would be fine if that's what they were, actually telling the audience. If they were saying, Goku's moving so fast that he is transcending the fourth dimension, he is transcending time itself, and is able to move in the space between time, that would be fine. I would be okay with that if that's what they were going for, if that's what they were stating to the audience. This is what they're showing, that isn't what they're saying, and these two things aren't matching up. Also, we see Hit, like, he's like, oh yeah, I've also improved my Tokidabashi and extended it even further. And we see him, like, Goku's, like, moving in frozen time, and then Hit freezes him, and then moves around him. I'm like, what? So you being able to freeze time longer allows you to freeze Goku, who's apparently moving in frozen time. That's not, once again, it's not, what they're showing is not what they are explaining. If they had said something like, oh, well, Hit has actually improved the Tokidabashi where he can freeze individual characters or people who can move within the fourth dimension, like he can, that would be something completely different. That would be actually a cool concept, that it's like, oh, like he's actually evolved the Tokidabashi, that even people who can break through that time barrier can now be frozen because, you know, Hit's just improved his technique that far. But they're not saying that. They're saying that he's just extending the time. Now he can, like, oh, well, now the Tokidabashi lasts even longer. And they stopped even giving us time frames now. It's just like, oh, like, my time skip lasts even longer. I've extended it. That's all they're telling us now. And I really wish that, like, they would just, you know, explain what they're showing or show what they're explaining. Now, earlier I was saying that it would be neat if the Kaioken worked the way it had in the past, as a burst maneuver, and I'm going to explain why I think that, because the way they're explaining it is Goku's moving so fast that, you know, he's moving around the Tokidabashi, he's keeping up, quote, quote, with the Tokidabashi. So, an interesting concept would be if Goku were bursting in and out of the Kaioken times 10. Like, you know, if Goku were predicting when Hit's going to use the Tokidabashi, and a split second before he does that, he bursts in the Kaioken, moves around Hit really quick, and it completely takes Hit off guard. Like, Hit's in that frozen time, has to take a moment to relocate, oh shit, Goku's moved. Or maybe he goes to, like, you know, he's in, like, mid-move, and he goes to swing, freezes time, Goku predicts it, and by the time, you know, he's in frozen time and he takes that swing, Goku's already gone, and he has to, like, turn and look, and by the time he's even relocated Goku, or maybe doesn't even see Goku yet before the Tokidabashi wears off, Goku is already behind him and just nails him with a really strong shot, and they could have done that for a more tactical fight, instead of just, I'm so fast, I'm breaking through your move, I've improved my move to where I'm freezing you still, and it's just like, okay, that's cool, but it takes a kind of a tactical element out of the fight that could have been there. And then it could have been that Goku was actually doing what everyone is saying, and that, you know, the way Hit's move is working is the way everyone is saying that, like, oh, he's extending the time. So now even if Goku is able to work around the Tokidabashi, you know, move around it, he would still be frozen, and that would give Hit the extra time to relocate Goku and go for a second assault on him. That would be neat. But once again, that's just not what they're doing, and I feel like that's a bit of a missed opportunity. I don't know if there's just something in Toriyama's notes that were just misinterpreted, or maybe this is how Toriyama wanted it to be, or maybe even, you know, maybe the Toyotaro manga will actually interpret it the way I'm saying. That would be super cool. Doubtful, but it would be neat. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity, and I don't care if it's one or the other, guys. Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, I want it to be this. It's just, you know, I want the show to depict what the hell they're saying, and they're just not doing that. If Goku can literally transcend through stop time, say that. Say that Goku is moving so fast now in Kaioken times 10, he can, you know, just completely transcend time. Just say that. And that Hit's move can now freeze him in stop time. That would be a lot better. And yes, people, Hit is stopping time. I know it's called a time skip, but, you know, the way they explain it is he is literally stopping time for moments. Alright? Stop arguing this with me. I know what the fuck the words time and skip mean, but, you know, the way they explain the move is that, you know, he is skipping time by literally freezing it. He is moving through a moment in time. That is why Jocko can't see him, because time stops for Jocko, and then when time unstops, Hit has already moved and done his attack. So yeah, like, conceptually, I think it's a really cool idea that they went with for this fight, but just the execution was just so sloppy, and it just had me scratching my head the whole time. I'm like, yeah, what I'm seeing is really cool, but what they're telling me makes no goddamn sense, and it's this weird disconnect that I'm having with the show. You know, tell me what I'm seeing, or, you know, show me what you're telling. Don't tell me one thing and show me another thing, because then it's just like, I don't know what the hell's going on, and now this fight's confusing, it doesn't make any goddamn sense, and it takes me personally out of the fight. Yes, what I'm seeing is cool. Being cool doesn't mean jack shit if I don't understand what the fuck I'm seeing. Also, one more thing to bring up is Champa says that, he confirms that, like the Tokitobashi and Super Saiyans, they pale in comparison to a God of Destruction. Literally just outright stating, you guys ain't shit to me. Even, Hit does not stand a single chance against Champa, meaning that, Beerus is even more powerful than Champa, as I stated earlier, meaning that, yes, Beerus is way more powerful than Goku could hope to be at this point. So everyone who is thinking that, oh, well, Beerus was really sweating, I'm sure, Goku might actually be more powerful. No, Champa pretty much confirmed for us that, yeah, they are nowhere still near their tier. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. And you can say, like, oh, well, maybe Beerus was training, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's like, well, I mean, Champa's fat ass wasn't, and it was already confirmed that Beerus was already stronger than Champa to begin with. So, yeah, it's just, the power scaling here makes no goddamn sense. I really wish that, they would just let these characters either surpass Beerus and Champa, or just, not let them train so goddamn much. Stop giving them these transformations. Stop giving them these crazy power-ups. Stop giving them these 3-year-long training sessions where, afterwards, just like, why are they still weaker? I don't get it. Oh my god, this review went on for too goddamn long. Anyhow, overall, it's a solid episode. It was alright. It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I found a lot of things really satisfactory about it. On a conceptual level, I love what this episode does, and I love what this fight was doing on a conceptual level. I just really wish that they had explained, the whole concept better, like what was actually going on in this fight. Basically just that whole thing of having the visuals match the explanation. That is my whole thing. It just doesn't make any sense. It'd be like if a guy gets shot with a fucking gun in a movie, and then someone goes, oh man, he was punched to death. It's like, no, he was shot, I saw it. Like, that's not what just happened. And it's this weird fucking disconnect. I don't know why more people aren't bothered by this, because I know, like, this is kind of driving me nuts. Because it's like, fucking explain what you're showing, alright? God damn it, show. I want to like you, and I do like a lot of the things that you're doing. It's fucking cool conceptually, but cool concepts don't mean jack shit if it doesn't make sense. Like GT had cool fucking concepts and sloppy execution, but, like, I still understood what was going on in GT. At no point in GT did they say something, that completely conflicted with what was being shown on the screen, and it made me go, what? And here, that's exactly, like, no matter which concept they went with, if Goku was, going faster than the Tokitobashi, and, he was breaking through time, that's a cool fucking concept. If Goku was using strategy to get around the Tokitobashi and using his increased speed of the Kaioken to throw off Hit, that's also a cool concept. I am fine with either one. Either one would have been fucking awesome. I just wish I had gotten one or the other and not got to see one and got an explanation for another. And yeah, there we go. Okay, tangent over. Not really that ranty. I'm not angry at the episode because it didn't do anything like overtly shitty. It just didn't make goddamn sense. But I mean, overall, it's kind of cool. And I did appreciate the whole concept they were going with the whole ring outs and the kind of giving the finger to the gods. Even though it kind of doesn't make sense with Goku's character because I don't think Goku's ever valued that before. I don't know, call it character development or Goku being out of character, whatever. Still, I enjoyed that aspect of it. Next episode, I'm pretty sure is the last episode of this arc. If so, I'll do like a full arc review after I review that episode, and I'll give my full thoughts after seeing everything in context and how it all played out. Until next time, guys, Zeon out.